PreSched optional placement. Well, PreScheds have many different options that we can use, and one of those that's real important is optional placement. This is a PreSched that we're looking at that was created several days ago and is all ready to generate every 3 months a new work order starting with the trigger in the month of May. And because of the 30-day walk forward time, the service date is going to land on 6-6. But you should notice that this is actually an approximate date. You also should recall that in PreSched and in most good software, you have both an actual date, which is when it lands on the schedule book, and an approximate date, which actually doesn't land on the schedule book, but is still tracked by the system so that you can place it later on. So in this training video, we want to talk about using these fields, the optional placement fields. They're actually quite easy, and they work independently, but after these fields. So again, to make sure that we're together, recognize that this PreSched is going to trigger on the first work day in May, then jump forward 30 days, and then land either on the schedule book or in the approximate dates. So let's give it some specificity. So like for instance, perhaps we want it to be on the second week of the month on Wednesday. So actually turn that around. This will be the second Wednesday of the month. Now as soon as I do that, notice that the date changes. So for example, the third week of the month on Wednesday is going to be 6-15. If we change it to Thursday, it'll be 6-16. So notice that this date updates, so that is the third Thursday in the month. If we want to look at the first Thursday, that would be 6-2. So it's really very handy to be able to make it land on the actual date. And you can even tell it if you know, perhaps you want this job to be done at 9 a.m. and to allow for, say, 1 hour. And with all of these attributes set, that is exactly where it will be waiting on your schedule book. So this particular one will create a work order on June the 2nd, which is the first Thursday at 9 a.m. and scheduled up to 10 a.m. Now for fun, let's just change one more date just to see how easy it works. Let's go to the second Thursday, and now it's on 6-9. So this is a very wonderful field right here because it allows you to see the anticipated behavior. Now, in closing, I want to make sure that you understand that if you use these fields right here, it will land on the schedule book. If you leave these fields empty, then it will say approximate, and it won't land on the schedule book, but rather land in the set of unscheduled work orders. And when they're unscheduled, they will show up in this area right here. They will also show up right here because this button and this button are the same thing, except this one only looks into the next 30 days. So this is something you should check every Monday or the first or early every week to see which ones that are due that need to be put onto the actual schedule book. Okay, so a final tip for the day for PreScheds, that if re-managed, if well managed, they can serve as the foundation for an efficient route management system. And using the optional placement features is the first step to getting there. Thank you for watching another PreSched training video. To learn more, go to www.presched.com.